41% of first-time homebuyers are not aware of all the additional costs that come along with buying a home, besides your closing costs and your down payment. Oh, I just can't. In this video, I'm going to share with you the real cost of buying a home. I'm going to break down what those additional costs are, including the upfront costs you're going to need to lay out once you're under contract. I'm also going to break down the closing costs. This way, you will be aware and fully prepared when you're buying your home. Now, you know, I tell everybody here on my channel that when you are preparing to save for your home, you're going to be saving your down payment, your closing costs, and you know, I always throw in that emergency fund. You need 3 to 6 months of your income put away in the bank in case things break after you close on the house, because you know, Murphy's Law. But I do get asked a lot, what are all the expenses that I'm going to be incurring when I'm purchasing this home besides your traditional down payment and closing costs and all of that? So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to share with you also some tips on how to mitigate some of the higher costs. So let's get into that right now. The first thing I want to get into are the upfront costs. These are things you're going to have to pay for once you're under contract, and these costs can rack up. So get ready. Your first cost is going to be your home appraisal. Now, you need to have an appraisal done if you're getting a mortgage, and you will not be able to get the loan approved unless you get that home appraised, and that home does appraise for the purchase price. If you're buying a home with cash, you still may choose to do a home appraisal because you want to make sure you're not overpaying for the home. And I've seen a lot of cash buyers go ahead and get an appraisal anyway, just because they want to make sure. Now, the home appraisals, they can range anywhere from a few $100s upwards towards $700 or more. I've seen my clients pay $700 for a home appraisal. I know that sounds like a lot, but what factors go into that cost of the appraisal? Well, number one, the size of the property and the house. Now, the larger the property and the home, the longer it's going to take for the appraisal to do his job to appraise the home. Another factor is the location and that housing market. If you're buying a home in a high demand market, hello, North Jersey, you're going to be paying more for that appraisal. This is why I see a lot of my clients paying a higher amount for their home appraisals than you would see in other areas of this country. If you are getting a government-backed loan such as FHA or a VA loan, those appraisals will be a little bit more expensive because they have more stringent requirements. The next upfront cost you're going to have to pay, let's get into the home inspections. Now, your home inspection costs are going to vary depending on geographic location in the United States. But according to Home Advisor, the average cost for a home inspection was $484. Now, here in my market, I've seen buyers pay, I would say average $500. Some have paid, I'm not kidding you, I had a client years ago, paid almost $1,800 for a home inspection. Why? I don't know. I thought that was outrageous. Now, there were a couple of other inspections you're going to need to conduct on top of the home inspection. So, for example, if you're living in the Northeast and the homes here, like here in New Jersey, you heard me talk about it, if they're known to have underground oil storage tanks, you're going to need to do an oil tank sweep. That can run you anywhere from about $150 to $250. Now, a lot of home inspectors here in New Jersey will do the oil tank sweep for you. They're going to charge you another $100 or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I highly recommend using an environmental company just because that's their wheelhouse, that's their jam. They know exactly what they're looking for. You're better off going with an environmental company to do that tank sweep. If you're buying a house with a septic system, oh, you better believe it. You're going to be inspecting that septic system. Now, you will find septic systems anywhere across this country. So septic inspections, again, run about a few $100s. And it is super, super important to have that inspection done because if that septic system fails, you're going to have to be going back to that seller to have them repair it or potentially replace it. Septic systems, depending on the size of the house and the number of bathrooms that are in the house or number of bedrooms, they can run anywhere from, say, 25 upwards to 40,000 or 50,000 or more. No joke. So get that septic inspection done. The home inspector, depending on what part of the country you're in, will probably do a radon test. This is very popular here in the Northeast and, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. It's very popular up here because of the amount of rock that's in the ground. So radon is an odorless, colorless gas that can seep up through the basement floor. And if the radon number is high, then you have to put in a radon mitigation system. Radon test typically cost about $100, and your home inspector will probably include that in his fee or may charge you extra for that. Now, while the home inspector is doing the home inspection, he may uncover other issues. It's like, say, there's an issue with the structure, or there's an issue with the chimney. There could be a problem with the electrical or the roof. And they may recommend to you to bring in another person to evaluate or inspect whatever they're suspecting is wrong. So let's talk about the structure. And so if the inspector is saying there's an issue here with the structure, you're going to want to bring in a structural engineer. Now, depending on where you are, structural engineers could be, a few $100s to $600. I say $600 just because I know I had a client that paid $600 to have a structural engineer come and evaluate a home. Chimney inspections, again, about a couple $100s. Same thing goes for like the roof and electrical. But I will tell you, if you're bringing in a regular licensed roofer or a licensed electrician, sometimes they may not charge you because they're going to want to have your business after you close on the sale. So I have seen that happen. I'm not saying that you all do it. I'm not saying that all of those contractors do that, but there is that chance they may just do it for free just to, to help you out and to hopefully win your business. But I would still anticipate I'm paying, whatever, $50 to $100, whatever the contractor wants to charge. So just keep that in mind. So overall, your total home inspection costs, so say you have to do your tank sweep, septic system inspection, all the things, you're looking anywhere from $500 to upwards towards $1,000 or more on your home inspections. Now, the next upfront cost you have to get ready to pay is that earnest money deposit. Now, depending on what you agreed upon in your contract, that could be whatever, $5,000, $10,000. It could be 10%. So say if you're putting a total of 20% down and you say, I'm going to give you 10% as earnest money, make sure you have those funds available. This is my piece of advice for you, because when I tell my clients before we write the contract, and I ask them how much are we putting down for earnest deposit? How accessible are those funds? Because a lot of people keep their money saved in mutual funds, stocks, money markets, or they're going to be taking money out of their 401k. Make sure that money is going to be accessible, because if the offer is accepted, you're going to have to pay that deposit within, say, about 7 to 10 days or so after that contract is accepted. So make sure you have that money ready. So let's get into those closing costs. Now, the closing costs aren't paid until closing, hence the name closing costs. The closing costs on average are about 2 to 5% of the home purchase price. Now, what are in these closing costs? Everyone's hearing closing costs. What the heck is it? What am I paying for? Okay, let's start off with, you have the loan origination fees. These are the fees that cover the administrative costs to process the paperwork, to do the underwriting, to do the funding of the loan. A loan origination fee will run you about 0.5% to 1% on the total amount of the loan. So for example, you take out a $300,000 mortgage, you're going to pay about $1,500 in the loan origination fee. Okay, another item in the closing cost, it's a good old title insurance and the title search fees. Now, while you're doing your home inspections, getting the loan approved, all the things, a title company is on the back end doing a title search on the property to make sure that there is no easements, no encroachments, there's no outstanding liens, improperly recorded deeds, there's no forged or falsified documents. That's what they are looking for. And those fees can run probably about a few $100s. Once they do their search and they find everything is clean, everything is good, then they will give you a clean title. But then you do have to buy title insurance. Your mortgage company is going to require you to purchase that. So the title insurance is there to protect you from somebody suing you, and they say they have a claim against that property prior to you purchasing it. So legal claims could come from the previous owner's failure to pay their taxes, or if they didn't pay a contractor that did work on the house and they never paid them. Those things can happen. And a quick story for you about title. Now, this is why the title search is important. Several years ago, representing the buyer, the house they were buying, it was an estate. Okay, we were dealing with the children. The parents had passed on. So the trustee for the estate was the eldest son. Let's call him Tony. Okay, we'll call him Tony. And Tony assured us that him and his brother were selling the property. Okay, so it was dragging out for the longest time. We're like, why is this not closing? Why is it taking so long? Guess what? During the title search, they discovered that Tony and his brother had a sister And the sister had no idea that Tony and his brother were selling their parents' home.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Now, so they reached out to the sister because in the state of New Jersey, if you're an heir to a property, you have to sign a legal notice saying that you are aware that the home is being sold and you are approving of the sale. Well, guess what? Said sister was not approving of the sale because she was never informed by her brothers that they were selling the house. Isn't that just great? Yeah, that happened. And yeah, you can guess what happened. The sale never happened. My buyers had to walk away. They couldn't clear title. So yeah, that's why we do title searches. So little story there for you. Now, the cost for your title insurance, it depends on where you live in this country. So in states like Florida and Texas, title insurance fees are regulated by the government. So everybody pays the same fee. But if you're in other states, like say even here in New Jersey, those fees are not regulated. But the good thing is you can shop out different title insurance companies. So you can find whatever the cheapest one is and you can go with that company. Another item on the closing costs are the recording fees. These are the fees that they charge to record your deed with the county. Yes. And that can range about like $75, $100. Another item you'll find are the attorney fees. So if you're in a state that requires attorneys, or if you just decided you want to hire an attorney regardless, those attorney fees are going to be included as part of the closing cost. If you bought discount points to lower your mortgage interest rate, that's going to be part of your fees as well. So people get confused about this too. They thought discount points, you pay that up front. That's paid at closing, okay? Discount points are typically 1% of the total loan amount. So if you're borrowing $300,000, that discount point is going to cost you $3,000, and that's a one-time fee. The next item will be your homeowner's insurance. Yeah, that's my favorite topic. Now, typically, the homeowner's insurance will be included in your mortgage payment, but when you're closing on a home, in some cases, they may prorate it. You're going to have to lay out that money up front. The homeowner's insurance monthly payment will typically be part of your mortgage payment because you have mortgage, taxes, and insurance. So you're going to have that lovely fee as well. So some things I can share with you to mitigate the cost, the upfront and the closing costs. Look, you can negotiate. You can go back and ask them if you can charge less. So say if you're working with a lender and you like them, but their closing costs seem kind of high, you can absolutely go and talk to a different lender and compare. Shop and compare. This is what I tell my clients all the time. Same thing with title insurance. If you are in a state other than Texas and Florida, research title companies. See how much they're charging for their title insurance. I had somebody comment a while ago on one of my videos saying that they paid almost $15,000 in closing costs on a $300,000 house, which I thought that was really high. Come to find out, the title fees and the insurance was a bulk of those fees. They paid a lot of money. So do your homework. You know me, I'm telling you all the time, do your homework, your due diligence, research everything line by line, and go back and ask and see if anything could possibly be negotiated. And especially the title insurance, absolutely, you can shop out different insurance companies to find the better rate for you. So now you know what the real cost of buying a home is. You also need to know what the red flags are that tells you that your dream home is a disaster. And you can watch it right here. I got it all here in this video, and I think you're going to love it. Thank you so much for watching me today to get your dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.